I think we've missed the boat when it comes to this in a lot of our churches. Because we think if we just bring people to church, maybe the preacher that stands up here is going to evangelize everybody. Or if you're like me and you exit our church down this road and head back towards Nicholasville Road, there's a guy on the end of the street corner every single Sunday with a sign waving to people trying to tell them about Jesus. That's what we've equated evangelism to. We say that we just need to stand on a street corner and shout at people. Let them know who Jesus is, or randomly walk up to strangers. I remember hearing it as a kid that I'm supposed to go door to door and tell people about Jesus, tell my neighbors, tell all those people. That is not evangelism. Evangelism isn't about preaching to everyone. It's about showing up for someone. And when we do that, evangelism completely changes. Meaningful relationships rarely happen by accident. And so when we purposefully seek out relationships and show up for the people who are around us, lives begin to change. But it requires courage, it requires consistency, and it requires love. So whether you have a new neighbor that's just moved in, a coworker that you see all the time, whoever it might be, someone who feels far from the faith that's near you, most of the time evangelism doesn't look like standing on a street corner shouting out scriptures. Most often it looks like just showing up when there's a need, or having a cup of coffee, or having a meal together, inviting people into your house. Evangelism isn't this overly complicated thing that we've created it to be in the church. It's as simple as showing up for the people who are around us. And when that happens, lives change. If you were to look forward into Mark chapter 7, you would see the feeding of the 4,000. A story, again, that we've talked about before, but we've not linked the two. But I want you to realize what happens. When Jesus leaves this man, doesn't allow him to follow him, leaves him as the walking sermon to the town, he comes back probably a few months later, and suddenly there are 4,000 people eager to hear from the words of Jesus. There wasn't some magic church tradition that was starting here. They just saw the walking love of Christ in their city and needed to know more. And that one person changed thousands, if not more. That's the power of evangelism. Who is that someone? Maybe the someone that you think is so far gone beyond saving, just like this man was when he was overly possessed by the demons around him. Who is that person? Ask the Spirit, pay attention, and when he prompts you, go. Be the light. That's how evangelism happens, one at a time.